Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.
Andrew McCart, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted as always, and it's been a long time to be joined by Andy Lee. How are you, chap?
Good. Yeah, I think it was this time last year. We were in Glasgow. November 19.
And that was Vegas. Was in Vegas for Tyson.
Oh yeah, Vegas. That seems like a long time.
It does seem like a long time, but that was the only time. That was the last time it felt normal with the crowds and everything like that. Yeah. But we'll come on to that. Maybe we'll get your comments on Wilder, but we'll come to that later. But I want to talk about your fight with Paddy Donovan. He looks in tremendous shape. Looks in absolutely tremendous shape. I follow him on Instagram and Twitter, and it looks like he's been training his bollocks off. Yeah,
he's probably in the best shape I've actually seen him in. He's getting more disciplined with his diet, because he's always been a hard trainer. But he's getting more disciplined with his diet, and I think he knows he's in a serious fight this time. So he's doing everything right.
In terms of doing everything right, is that because he's got this step up in class now and it's only his fifth fight? I mean, Camero's got a winning record. He's the same size, he's as big as Paddy. So is this time now where Paddy's like, he's everything in his game, in his preparation in terms of diet, training, sparring has been near on perfect? Yeah,
as close as it can be to perfect. I think we've had no injuries in that, so that's always a bonus. And not that he has injuries, he's very robust. No, he knows. He's like, he said to me, like, when I think about the fight, I'm starting to get a few butterflies, which is always a good sign. Always a good sign. And I like the fight because it's a chance for Paddy to show what he can do, and I think as long as he gets the win, it's a good result, because Camaro is notoriously tough, has never been stopped. He actually has done a lot of sparring with Josh Kelly, so I was talking to Adam Booth about him, and my brother Roger, who knows him, who's in Adam Booth's gym at the time, and that report is that he's very tough, he's very emotionally and mentally, physically, he's very calm, and no matter what you hit him with, he'll keep coming forward. So Paddy knows he has to box, and in doing that, you'll see the best of Paddy.
In saying that as well, Paddy can hit.
That's the thing, and the thing is with Paddy, if he doesn't try to hit you hard, he's more likely to get a knockout. If he sometimes, especially when he was young, I remember in his second fight, he was definitely loading up a lot, trying to get a knockout, and when you do that, it never comes. So if he just goes out there and uses his superior technique, superior ability, then because that's what separates him. I don't think Paddy's tougher than Camaro, but in every other department, Paddy is a superior boxer. So Paddy just uses that side. Don't try to out-tough him, just out-box him. It'll be all right.
Definitely. Again, Camaro is one of them guys. For only your fifth fight is a huge step up for Paddy, and being that he's only 21 still. 21. I mean, it's a huge step up for somebody who's still basically learning their craft in the professional game.
Yeah, but he's had an extensive amateur career, Paddy. European champion, world silver medalist, Olympic youth silver medalist, all of that stuff. So, he needs to start stepping up, and this is the way it should be done. This is the way Emmanuel Stewart guided my early career, and it's the way Adam Booth has done with Josh Kelly, and that's the way I like to do with Paddy from now on. I think first few fights was finding himself, feeling out the program, getting used to the ritual and the, of traveling, of getting the weigh-in done the day before and making the weight and then going to the fight, getting your hands wrapped, all of that stuff, the routine. And now it's time for him to actually have competitive fights.
You've been singing his praises from, I remember his debut out in Belfast. You said to this kid, like, you've been with him for, maybe 2 years now, is it? Maybe just under?
Just a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Like, training.
How far can this kid go, Andy?
He can go all the way. I said it, he keeps surprising me with what he can do in the gym. and he has that a bit like that little bit of quality, and he has the physical attributes as well as I think the boxing brain. He has it no one's going to take my opinion with a pinch of salt, because obviously I train him and I manage him, so I'm a bit biased, but yeah, I think I have integrity, and my opinion means something, so I wouldn't be putting myself up there, putting Paddy on a pedestal if I didn't believe it. And I think,
well, you're a former world champion yourself, so I'm pretty sure your opinion holds some water.
You know, I could have trained and or been involved with countless fighters after I retired, and no one came along, or I didn't see anyone that excited me, and it was actually me who saw Paddy out, and when I saw him fighting in the amateur, I thought, this is the kid. And so I think he's got it. He can go all the way, but it's about managing his boxing, but also managing life as well. And a lot of things can happen outside of the ring that can distract you or take you away from where you should be. But if he keeps his feet in the ground, continues to train and improve like he is, then.
To be fair to the young man, it seems like he does have his head screwed on when it comes to being a professional athlete in terms of diet and preparation and stuff like that. But I something that intrigued me just there. I know I know this is a hypothetical question in terms of where both fighters are in their professional career, but you mentioned Josh Kelly a couple of times in the booth. Josh Kelly and Paddy the same weight. I'm kind of in my own head thinking, what a fight that would be, you going up against Booth and your fighters going up against each other. For me, that's quite an intriguing little...
And it'd be an unbelievable match of skill. Before Paddy turned pro, we'd only been training. We hadn't even trained together really. I think we'd done one session together. And Josh Kelly was due to fight somebody, can't remember who it was. But I said to Adam, I've got a young kid here, we'll come over for a week. And I was there for like 3 or 4 days. I had to return to Ireland, but Josh Kelly didn't actually spar because he was a little bit under the weather. Paddy said, I'll stay because I want to stay and get the spar. So Paddy stayed and sparred Josh and they had a great spar. And Josh Kelly, to me, is the benchmark at the moment for Paddy. That's where he should be trying to emulate. I want to model Paddy on Josh Kelly in terms of the matchmaking, the quality of opponents, and the quality of the boxing that Josh Kelly does. We also, I know it's huge jumps, but we watch a lot of Terence Crawford and how he fights, and what's so impressive about him and his mentality and the attitude he has. And that's where Paddy needs to be setting his sights on. Not at any domestic level. He's a world level talent.
Definitely. Well, you mentioned Terence Crawford there. I mean, he's in his 32, 33 maybe now, so there is going to be spaces now for young fighters to fill these voids of like the Floyd Mayweather who's retired, the Andy Lees who have now retired. We need to find another fighter who are right hook like yours. You know, we need to find these young kids now. But I've got to ask another guy, because we spoke about off camera, Jason Quigley, Donegal man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how's he looking?
Jason is improving. Technically, he just needs a fight. It's been a frustrating year for him. Several fights that were meant to happen didn't happen, and it's tough for him because he has been around. He's so close to having a big fight, but then in some ways that's the hardest place to be, because compared to Paddy, where Paddy is young, up and coming, and he's getting fights regularly. Like Jason is maybe 2 fights away from a big fight or a world title challenge, but it's just about getting those fights. And yeah, it's just been. We were off to we finished last year with a win in December, and then he had another fight in January, and the plan was to keep him busy until something significant came up. Unfortunately, then the pandemic, and now everything's just been
up in the air.
Yeah, shut down. With his promoter being Golden Boy, his management is in LA. It's a lot of moving parts all over the world, and it's hard to get them all together. So yeah, it's frustrating for him, but in the meantime we are training. He's improving technically all the time. He just needs the fight now to give him that little bit of extra motivation, and especially when you can't just keep training without a fight, because it's never the same incentive there. So he gets a fight. Yeah, he'll hopefully soon we'll see him out and see what he's been working on.
Quickly, I know you mentioned Terence Crawford there quickly. I just want to get your quick thoughts on him against Brook at the weekend. I mean, it's a tough ask for Kel, but it's a good fight in itself.
Yeah, it's Tough one for Brook. Tough one, and you got to commend him for taking the fight and going for this. But you hope he's doing it with the right intentions, that he's not just cashing in on his name, that he's going in there with, and it seems to be, you're hearing the sound bites, he seems to be going in there with the mentality that he's going to win. But Terence Crawford is an unbelievable fighter, isn't he? So he's southpaw orthodox, he's as good at both sides, and as I said earlier, his mentality is just tough, and he's got the perfect boxing kind of mental toughness that it takes to be at the top. He's just a competitor. You know, it's a competition for him. He's not overawed or intimidated by anybody. He just sees this as like boxing as a contest, and he wants to be the best.
Definitely, I agree. We spoke a little bit there that the last time I saw you was in Las Vegas. I know it's kind of maybe old news now, but I kind of do want to get your opinion on it, because you were part of Team Fury. You were in the changing room for his fight. You've seen it all happen. I just want to, you're smiling, but I want to get your thoughts on Wilder's comments when he's basically came out with excuses with the costume, and then Tyson's gloves were loaded and his water was spiked and Breland was against him, and I just want to get your thoughts on it all.
Like two opposite trains of thought, like, and I think, I don't know, some part of it feels like he's not dealing with the defeat very well, and I can see how that could be, because the personality that he has, the belief he has himself, that he just can't come to terms with it, and maybe he's having or going through some sort of mental or emotional episode, which nobody wants to jump on top of, or see somebody go through, especially in such a public way. But then also I think, it could be just an orchestrated kind of thing. Actually, really good PR that the rematch clause has elapsed, the time has expired for that rematch to be made, and since then he's come out with this campaign of excuses, all of which you stated, and it kind of builds the thing up again. You know what I mean? Kind of, but knowing it, he knows in the back of his mind the fight's never going to happen now. Not this time anyway. So let me build up these conspiracy theories, which have no grounding at all. I was in the dressing room when he got his hands wrapped, when he got gloved up, and Jay Diaz was in Tyson's dressing room. There's video. Listen, when you at the weigh-in, there's gloves that are given to the commission. Both teams inspect the gloves. Both teams pick a glove they like to use, as long as they're agreeable to the other team, then they're agreed upon. You sign the gloves, both teams sign the gloves, the commission sign the gloves, and then they're given to the commission, they're resealed, and you don't get your hands on in Vegas anyway, you don't get the hands on the gloves. You don't even touch the gloves until your hands are going into them. It's not like you get them when you enter the dressing room, it's not like you have them for a period of time before. Tyson didn't see those gloves until the commission put his hands into them. Then they're taped and they're tied and taped and signed again, all the while being witnessed by his coach, Wilder's coach. So when Wilder's coach leaves, there's taped. They're signed on the tape, so there's no way it can be tampered with. And so that's just gone into whatever. That's just to dispel that theory. But yeah, I think it could be just a good, he comes back now, he fights somebody else, he builds momentum, keeps shouting about that he's cheated and making excuses, and then it builds it again nicely for a third fight, or a fight with Joshua or Andy Ruiz or Dillian White.
Yeah, I mean, heavyweight division is booming at the moment, but I kind of want to stay on this subject a little bit, because what are your thoughts on his comments on Breland being against him, and he was a disloyal?
Crazy. Yeah, crazy, mad.
Would you have done, as a coach now with Paddy and with Jason and stuff like that, in your eyes, what would you have done if you had your fight was bleeding from the ear and stuff, and was getting a beat down like that?
Yeah, I think I thought it was he saved him to some point, and it gave Wilder an out. He didn't have to quit. He didn't have to get knocked out cold. Wilder, some way, should be grateful to him, because okay, I didn't quit. I wasn't knocked out. My corner pulled me out. It gave him an out. Gave him some excuse. But then to throw throwing him under the bus like that, Breland. It was like I met Mark Breland. I've only spent time with him once. That was probably 2010, maybe 2009. We were in New York for a fight. Emmanuel and me were going for dinner, and Mark Breland came. I was only a young fella, you know. It was, but for somebody like Mark Breland, who seems, you know, Olympic champion, world champion, and seemed to be, no disrespect to JD, but seemed to be the boxing brain of the team. Why that? Then just to be out like that by everybody and not defended by anybody, it's not good luck.
Definitely. I agree. Well, Andy, I won't keep you much longer. I'll probably get your opinion on Canelo and DAZN, if you don't mind. If Canelo's a free agent, do you think he's going to be his own boss now?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that, really. I was going to tweet Eddie Hearn and say, better call Saul. But no, listen, it's a funny one, isn't it?
It's a funny game, boxing, isn't it?
Funny game. You never, like, that's the thing with all these deals and stuff, and you might be envious of somebody, like, you know, from other fighters' point of view, but like Canelo's having his own struggles, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's the biggest draw in boxing, and he's having all these contractual issues, so you got to be careful. And what you get, sometimes keeping a team small and simple is the best way of doing it.
Definitely, I totally agree. Well, Andy, I won't keep you much longer. I do want to get a wee panel on that t-shirt, by the way.
It's a classic one, yeah.
Look at that, Motor City, Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
Hitman. There we go. See, I was looking at that going, I can have one of them if you don't mind. Where did you get that from?
I got this in New York. It's a Roots of Fight. And it's nice, yeah.
Definitely, I totally agree. It's a nice t-shirt. Well, Andy, good luck tomorrow night with Paddy. Hopefully I'll get a chat with Paddy. He'll come down soon, but good luck tomorrow night. I wish you the best luck as always, and I'll see you around.
Cheers, Andrew.
Thanks so much, Andy. Thank you.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.